Welcome to the Urban Playbook. My name is Vince, and this is Kathy. And the mission, you guys are going to love this. The mission of the Urban Playbook is to bring you guys information, education, and sports from an urban perspective. We want to tell you a little bit about our background first, and then we'll get into the show. We're going to start with Kathy. Kathy, introduce yourself, if you will.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kathy Rogers. I hail from Patterson, New Jersey. Hey, P-Town. We, uh, we, we, I'm a, I was born and raised in Patterson. Went to school in Patterson. Then I went to college at William Patterson. I have a BA in
Mm.
education. Then I have my master's degree in educational leadership and counseling. So that's where my background lies. I worked in the Patterson public school system for over 20 years. So I have a real good, a lot of experience working with students of all ages. And
Mm.
I'm ready to get into this urban playbook. And now I'll let Vincent talk.
Thanks, Kathy. 20 years in education. Wow. Okay, I hailed out of the big city of Memphis, Tennessee, North Memphis to be exact. Um, I actually stayed in Memphis to go to school. I went to high school in Memphis, of course. Then I went to the university like 20 minutes from my house because I really was a mama's boy. I was raised by my grandmother and I just didn't want to leave her. So I went to the University of Memphis. I stayed there for 3 years. I wasn't as fortunate as Kathy as far as that education, boy. That lasts longer than basketball. I'm like this close to getting all my degree. But I was a good student. I was an academic All-American, but I left school early after my junior year. Got drafted to the NBA. Got drafted to Philly, and played 9 years, not 10 years in the NBA. Played in Italy, Greece, and overseas. Then I got into coaching. So, sports is my background. Sports is my love, and that's really why we put it together. That's why we brought. Well, she created it and created the Urban Playbook. So I think that's a good fit for us. What we doing
Oh,
on the show today, Kathy?
okay, well, to start the show, since this is a topic that's trending, everybody's talking about it, everybody has an opinion about it, and that
Yes.
is the infamous P. Diddy, Puff
Mm,
Daddy, Sean Puffy Combs. He
yes.
goes by a
Bad
barrage of
boy.
different
Yes,
names.
yes.
So yeah, that's what we are going to start this evening on him and his
The big
his
trial.
mess that he has
Yeah,
got
yeah.
himself into. And
Ooh.
to start, let's just put some context to this. Um, he is charged with three different criminal activities. One is racketeering,
Mm.
and one is sex trafficking, and the other one is transport. He provided transportation to engage in prostitution.
Mm.
So the biggest charge, I believe, is racketeering, and
Yeah.
um, and so it's just, I mean, the question, one of the questions that I have is, first of all, do you think his trial should be televised? Why or why not? We know that it's not being televised, but should it be televised? Why or why not?
If you're asking me, I think it should be. I believe in transparency, and I'm not a big fan of the court system myself. So I believe that it should be televised because there's been so many brothers. Not saying he's guilty now, not saying he's innocent or guilty, but in my opinion, it's been so many brothers that have been railroaded. And when you get to a certain status, so I believe you know, if he did it, he should go to jail. If he didn't do it, he should get off. But I believe that it should be transparency because I don't trust the court system. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I also think it should be transparent, only because the court system is a public entity,
You're
and
right,
so therefore everybody that work, our tax dollars pay for the courts. It's a public
right,
building. So why
right.
shouldn't, I'm saying, any kind of case should
Yeah,
really be televised? Not just his,
and
but any of them,
yeah,
any of them.
yeah, I agree. And they're like when Cassie's girlfriend, she's on the stands, and we're getting all the information of what she's saying. Shit, you may as well show it.
You might
You
as
may as
well.
well show it. You know,
Exactly. You
I
exactly.
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
yeah, that's it's a tough situation. It's a tough situation.
yeah. I mean, and it's supposed to be justice for all, but when
Right.
you keep something from the public, then do you really know if you're getting justice or not?
Ex-
I mean, it goes
exactly.
back to your
Exactly.
thing about transparency. You don't
Right.
know, if people are being transparent if you can't see it.
Man, they've been so slick, man, for years. They've been slick. And I'm not saying the brother is innocent, but they've gotten a lot of brothers now that have been innocent. A lot of people of color, period. And so yeah, I believe in transparency, man. I believe in transparency. I believe that's the only fair way to do it. And then just you know, let the chips fall where they may. But I believe it should be transparency. I really do.
Okay. So yeah, and later on we might take a poll, do a survey to see
Yeah.
what
What
some
you
of the
guys
public
think?
has to
Yeah.
say about that particular
I'm sure there's a
question.
lot of opinions out there. I'm sure it is.
It's a lot of opinions just
Yes.
on that one subject alone.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But then another question that came to my mind was, do you think Cassie is a quote unquote credible enough witness to lead to a conviction?
Are you asking me, Vincent?
Yes, I'm asking Vincent. Yeah.
Well, how can I put this? Because I don't want you women getting mad at me out there. But I'm gonna keep it real. That's the only way I know how to do it. Do I think she's a credible witness from the stuff that I'm hearing, and I don't
Hmm.
know the background? Heck no, no. I don't think she's a credible witness. I think that video helps her because I mean he was totally wrong, kicking her and beating her. Because I got a daughter, and we don't play that down here in the dirty south. We don't play that kicking and all that with women. We don't do that. So I ain't got nothing to do with that. But as far as her talking about the freak offs and the this and the that, and she was 19 at the time. That's a young mind.
That's a very
And
young mind.
and when you get up on that stand, you nervous. And so I mean she's credible because she was there, but I don't know how true it is because of the love factor and the letdown factor of the relationships. You know how relationships can get. And
Yeah.
so is it vindictive or is it just straight down the line? We don't know. But if you asking me, no, I don't see how she can be a credible witness. As for well, domestic violence she can, but all that other stuff, she seemed like a participant on some of it. And I saw that the people, were they psychiatrists or psychologists, was
Yes.
saying that most people that are in abusive relationships, I believe it is that it's hard for them to leave. It's hard for them to, you know what I mean, like break away and all of that. So it's a tough situation, but no, I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean,
What do you think
it's from a woman's
from a woman's point
perspective.
of view? Yeah,
Yeah, from a woman's perspective, or from my perspective, it is a tough situation to be in. And like you said, you gotta consider the age factor. He's, I don't know,
yeah,
15, 20 years older than
yeah,
her.
yeah.
Um, she was
And
only
I know at
19.
19, I'm sorry for interrupting, but at 19, me, I was totally different than I am now. I was totally different.
Exactly.
So that
Exactly.
mind is not matured yet,
It's
you
not.
know,
It's not. The
at
mind,
19.
you know, because I do have a background in education and psychology, counseling, all those things. The
Mm.
mind doesn't fully develop until you're 25.
Wow. Wow.
25.
Wow. Woo.
That's when your mind, if you were
Fully
to take
developed.
a scan of your brain, it would not be fully developed until the age
Mm.
of 25.
Wow, that's deep. That's
So,
deep. So
so you have to consider that with her. And
yeah,
then
yeah,
to me, what the way I see it, for her, it almost became addictive. You
yeah,
know, it was
yeah.
like an addiction.
To the lifestyle,
Yeah,
he is a
all
big
of that,
star.
all of
He was
that.
a huge star then, and yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it
Because
became an addiction.
I think about, I'm a little more sensitive because I think about my own daughter and I got three sisters and, so yeah, that's tough. That's
It's
tough.
it's very tough. It's very
Woo, that's a tough topic, boy. You got some tough questions over there, Kathy. Yeah, tough questions.
yeah,
Woo, that's
it's
tough.
it's
But
tough.
they need to
So
be talked about. And in the urban community, certain stereotypes, certain things are not talked about for one
mhm.
reason or the other. So that's why we're here. That's what we're gonna bring to them.
Yeah, we're gonna bring that light. And like I said,
Yeah,
from a woman's perspective, that type of behavior, because everybody know in their right mind that that's not
yeah,
normal. It's just
right.
not.
It's
So
not. It's not.
then you become it
Wow.
becomes like you on the wheel, like the rat that's just spinning
Woo.
and spinning and spinning.
You making
And
me think about my question now of her being a credible witness.
that's
Because
yeah.
I didn't know that. I mean, I'm a smart guy, but I'm not. I don't have. I'm not.
You just
I'm
see
not
it out of a different
educated in
set of
that.
eyes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm seeing it out of what you're saying now, and that's tough. She was a young child,
Yeah.
and then didn't really that brain hadn't functioned, and I'm sure he was sort of like a hero or whatever you want to call it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
To her.
Because I've
Yeah.
been around that in basketball. When
Yeah.
I first, real quick to go off subject, when I first got in the NBA, guys that I used to have on my wall or guys that I used to see on TV, I'm in the hood, so I never thought I'd be playing with them dudes. I was the dude after the game going in the backyard, counting down 3, 2, and shoot. So when I get on the court with them, a lot of them used to play with your mental. You know what I mean? Like start talking to you, and because it's mental warfare out there. So yeah, that's tough on Cassie. That's tough. That's
Mm-hmm.
a great question.
Yeah.
I'll be interested whenever we open it up for the people out there to talk to us and participate. I'll be so interested to hear the different perspectives on that.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Because people see things out of a different set of eyes based
Yes.
on
Yes.
your own
That's been
background. And
their experiences.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like I said, me being so research oriented, I like to
Yeah.
research everything. And when I was in school, I had to take certain classes that talked about the brain. So that's how I know the brain is
Wow.
not fully developed until you're at the age of 25.
25. Is that for men and women? I guess it's
Men
brain
and
or the
women,
bone. Yeah.
universal,
Yeah. Wow.
universal. So
Wow. That's whew,
yeah. So
whew,
anyway, we
whew.
have to see. I know there's going to be other witnesses. They said that she's the quote unquote star witness, but
Yeah.
there's other witnesses. As a matter of fact, I seen
Right.
today on TV, um, his assistant which just happens to be a female.
Okay.
They said she's going to take the stand, and they said
Oh
she
wow.
knows a lot because
I'm
she was
sure.
his
She
she
was
was
right
his
there.
go-to. Yeah, she was his
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
hand, but she
Yeah.
was a female. So
Wow.
we're gonna,
I'm interested to hear her. I'm
yeah,
interested to hear her from a
yeah,
female's perspective.
yep,
I'm interested
yep,
to hear that. You
yep.
know,
So yeah, so that's that. And then
great question.
my last and final question regarding this case, P Diddy case, is how how do you think domestic violence ties into the racketeering and sex trafficking charge, or do you think
Domestic
domestic?
violence, I believe domestic violence in general definitely will tie into that because domestic violence is physical, but it can be mental too.
Yeah, it
Domestic
can be.
violence,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a control thing. I think
It
you know what I
is.
mean. It's a control thing. It's a control, and under that control, you know, that person not thinking that okay, if I leave, can I make it without him or her? Can
Mm-hmm.
I, you know what I mean? And
Right.
so a lot of times that'll make you stay. That'll make you stay. A lot of,
Or come back. Or
especially
come
women.
back.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or come back. And so that's a heck of a question.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a question because that's tough. What do you think on that? I'm gonna think a little bit. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts
I,
on
I,
that?
I think the domestic violence, yeah, I think it definitely ties into this
And
racketeering.
that video does not help my brother
No, it
at
don't help
all.
him at all.
It hurts him bad,
It
man.
doesn't help him. But
And I was a huge Puffy fan and still support him as a black man, but I got a daughter too. And I saw that, I was like, you know, go ahead. I'm sorry. Shit. You know, that's a
yeah,
tough one, yeah.
yeah, it's tough. But I really think that
Because,
the domestic violence ties into it because uh, if you get beat down so much, you know, it's going to be easier for you to be compliant.
say
You know,
yes. Yeah, yeah,
and that's how it
yeah,
ties in. You're going to, after a
yeah.
while, you're going to be compliant. It's just like the
Mm,
slave master mentality. Some
yeah.
slaves were more compliant, so they
No,
got to
because
go
they
in
knew
the
they get
house,
beat. Yeah, yeah.
and
House
the other
slave.
ones
Yeah,
had to stay in the field. Well,
yeah.
that's the
That's
same
true.
principle. If you get beat so much, you're going to eventually become compliant. Or I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
or
true.
but some people will say, well, she could have left, she could have left. Yeah, she could have left. But that's where the mental and the mental and the physical they clashed. They
Mm,
clashed because she leave and then she would say, oh man, I got used to that. I'm gonna go back.
yeah,
I'm gonna go back.
struggling financially probably,
Yeah,
or
right. And
he might have hit her with the.
the
I tell my
lifestyle.
daughter this. Now I don't hate on Puffy. I'm a Puffy fan. Not this. I ain't this fan.
Mm-hmm.
The music, Biggie. I'm a Biggie guy. But I tell my daughter about the manipulation because I did it a lot as a man. The
Mm.
manipulation of men to promise women, like, okay, if I own the record company, baby, I'm gonna give you a deal to da 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 da, and they just hanging around, and you try to
Mm-hmm.
you use that on them. That's what he did, I believe. I believe he
Yeah.
used that to
And for many years he was successful at doing this. Look, he had a
yeah,
whole what did he have a enterprise. He
yeah,
had a whole enterprise
he had it going. He had it going on for
for a
real,
long time.
man. Woo, the
For a
mind, the
long
man.
time.
We're gonna talk about the mindset one day. We got to talk about that mindset, that mental giants versus mental other people. you know, that mindset is something else. But yeah, this is a touchy subject, but I believe it's a subject just like other subjects that need to be talked about
It need to be
in a
spoken about.
sensible way on both sides. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
So yeah, I'm glad.
that's how I see it.
Yeah,
I try to look at the whole picture and
on both sides.
but the main thing is that to me was her age. Her age when she first started with Puffy,
Yeah,
19 years
yeah,
old.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then then it became an addiction. It became an
Yeah,
addiction.
the lifestyle. Yeah,
The
yeah.
lifestyle became an
That's true.
addiction.
That's true.
So
Now I can
yeah.
say some stuff about Puffy that it'll be funny and kind of think, but I ain't gonna get into it right now. get into it right now. But yeah, those are great subjects. Those are great
Yeah.
subjects.
Yeah.
Great subjects.
So
We're gonna dive into this more and more as we
yeah,
go
to be continued.
until it's over.
To be continued. But
Yes.
now we're going to move on, changing gears. We're going to move on to another subject where Vincent is going to take the lead because this is his background, but he
The
knows
New York, the NBA playoffs in particular, because she's from the New York, Jersey area, right? She's from Jersey.
yeah,
The New York Knicks.
right.
The
I'm
New
a
York Knicks.
diehard fan. I don't
That's it.
care when they start losing. I change the channel. I don't want to see them lose.
So you
That's
die hard
I'm
Knicks.
diehard.
So you, what about, okay, Jersey used to have the Nets too. Were you a
Right.
Nets fan? Or no?
Yeah, and then when Jersey had the Nets, I was a Nets fan. And then
Okay. What about
they
Brooklyn?
yeah, well Brooklyn, no, Manhattan is closer to
What?
me. Manhattan.
Oh, okay, okay. So you got to pick, like the Jets and the Giants. You got to pick and
Right, right.
choose
Whoever's
who you
closer to
going.
me, that's who I'm gonna be down with.
So before I talk about that basketball, I'm gonna talk about that now. The Knicks. Let me ask you this about that area. Baseball. Do you pick between the Mets and the Yankees?
Yeah, well that's tied because I don't think any of them, either one of those teams are have
Yankees are in the Bronx.
yeah, the Yankees in the Bronx and the Mets are where?
Where are the
I don't know
Mets?
where they're housed at.
Okay, okay.
But I don't know if between the two. I mean, a long time ago, I used to just if I had to pick one of the two of those,
Yankees.
I would
Yankees.
pick the Mets. I don't know why.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. And football, Jets or Giants?
Giants all the way.
Giants. Okay. All right. Back to the Knicks. The reason I'm a Knicks fan, I've always loved the Garden, playing in the Garden, because everybody there, and you. That's shit. That's center stage in the NBA, the Garden.
It
Even
is.
though they've been sorry and they won a championship since 70 something,
I
that's
know.
the number one place. First of all, it's the number one place as far as merchandise and selling out every game and all of that. And then every player wants to play well in the Garden when they go to the Garden. But back to the Knicks, the reason I like him, I'm a huge Jalen Brunson fan because I played with his dad Rick, and I remember Jalen when he was little, ball boy little, and I just like how sharp he is. You know, a lot of guys now I hate to say it, they're not fundamentally sound, and it's more like rat ball, like street ball, which is cool, but knowing how to play is everything in sports. And Jalen Bronson is a big time player.
He is.
So the Knicks, Boston. Now the Knicks got to win tomorrow. Now I know it's Game 6, and they're at home, and if they lose, they go back to Boston. But I believe tomorrow is a must win on both sides tomorrow because Boston looked good the other day.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah,
think? What are
yeah.
your
I
thoughts
mean,
on those Knicks?
huh?
What are your thoughts on the Knicks?
Well, the Knicks is my team. They are my team. Is there is no second runner up for me. When, when the
except
Knicks,
except the team that I like, right?
oh, I forgot. Yeah, I gotta
Oh,
support
okay.
Vincent.
You gotta roll with me. There you go.
Gotta
But the
roll with
Knicks are number
Vincent
one.
because just gotta roll with Vincent. But
I love it. I love it. So
um,
the Knicks are one.
the Knicks are one, and
Okay.
but I try not to stress myself out like the coach of the Knicks. I don't.
Okay. Thibodeau.
Yeah, what's
He
his
looks
name?
stressed out. Tom
Yeah,
Thibodeau.
yeah.
He's a
He,
great coach, but it's like coaching is basketball or nothing with him.
yeah,
And you
yeah.
can tell.
It shows. It shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't want to allow myself to get that stressed out. I mean,
Yeah.
it's but I just will change the channel. If they're when they start losing by big margin,
You
I just
change the
change the
channel.
channel. That's all.
Okay.
That's all I do. But I hope they win tomorrow, and I don't want to get so hyped up and stressed out over a basketball team. Why would I do that? Like, why
It
would I
happens
do
all
that?
the time. It happens all the time. I'm gonna make some predictions. Either today for the playoffs. Tomorrow, I'll wait till tomorrow. Make some predictions. I'm gonna predict tomorrow the Knicks, Boston tomorrow. Ah, I hate to say it. I'm gonna roll with Boston, even though I'm a Knicks fan. I'm a Knicks fan, but in order for the Knicks to win, the Knicks can win. In order for them to win, Karl Anthony Towns has to play big boy basketball. He can't be doing all of those soft, my finger hurt and all that shit. He can't do that. He got to play big boy ball because Jason Hart gonna do his thing.
He is.
OG Anunoby gonna do his thing. You know Bronson gonna do his thing, and Mikal Bridges got to play big, and they got to play tough. You know what I'm saying? They can't be all nice, and if they play tough, they'll win. They got to play tough, real tough.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Let me ask you about that playing tough versus being, as you say, a little bit soft.
A cupcake. Go ahead.
Oh God, a cupcake. I wouldn't go that far. But anyway,
that's what we call them. We call them cupcakes.
Anyway,
go ahead.
Anyway, you know, I just think a lot of it also has to do with the referees, like what they call, what they don't call. Because I'm looking at some things and I don't see it.
I got something to say about that when you finish. I agree with you though. The refs. Go ahead.
And then other things, you know, you see, and I guess they be looking somewhere else. They don't. My point is they don't
see the foul.
Right. They don't
so are you just saying that because they don't catch it on the Knicks side, or are you saying that because of both sides?
No, I'm saying it because I'm saying it because of the Knicks. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
But they don't catch it though. That's what I'm saying.
I agree. You know what a referee told me one time? A coach did too. When teams that are soft, they ain't soft, they ain't girls, but they, you know, some guys are tougher than others. When teams that come in and they play soft, and then all of a sudden they want to get all physical, they gonna call that. But if you come in physical, you can always lighten up, and the ref ain't gonna call everything. You see what I'm saying? If you come in and you boom, boom,
yeah,
he's not gonna call everything. But if you come in and you soft, and then all of a sudden now you're gonna get tough, he gonna call that. So you got to set the tone. The players set the tone of the game. It ain't the ref. The ref just calling, you know, okay, you're gonna be soft, now you're gonna foul. And so it looked like the ref cheat, but that's just where it is. The players got to set the tone. You see what I'm saying?
Oh.
Yeah, you got to set the tone. You got to be stomped down out there. If not, you know, only the tough teams are the only teams that advance late in the playoffs. Soft teams go home. Eventually, they'll go home because when they get tough, you're gonna run across a player or a team with a player out there that's kind of not crazy, but you know, he gonna test how tough, how hard you want, you know, how bad you want to battle to get the game. I'll put it that way. So that's what it is. It's sports, you know. Sports is basketball is about you hit or you get hit, one of the two. And the ref always catch the second guy, so it's better to be the hitty. Because you hit and then they hit the back, the ref gonna catch that guy, the second guy. You know? Does that make sense or no?
I mean, yeah, it makes sense from that perspective when you're on the court. I mean, I would never see it like that. I would never know that.
Right.
But you know, if that's the mindset, then that's the mindset.
That's the mindset. That's what it is. But I'm rooting for the Knicks. Let me take that back. I'm rooting for the Knicks because you are a Knicks fan. So
I am.
Yay! Let's go Knicks.
That's right. Go New York. Go New York.
Go New York. Go. Yeah. Okay, well, man. That's. I think we've covered the two things we wanted to cover. Unless you got something else.
No, that's pretty much it for this time. I think we've done a good job. As I said, we are the Urban Playbook, and there will be more to come. Yes,
I'm excited, and man, you guys got to tune in. We got you for sure. We definitely got you. It was great, Kathy.
Okay, Vincent.
Signing off. See you guys next time.
Bye.